there's $100 trillion of money that needs to flow into this economy, and it's not there yet. And everybody is loudly endorsing it. If you're listening, I think we could all agree that there's natural resistance to extraordinary disruptive change in the human civilization, and there always has been, right? Whether it's electricity or fire or explosives or internet technology or television or music,
Michael Saylor, in a recent podcast on the Crypto Banter channel, reacted to Yellen Janet's statement that crypto has its benefits and that the Treasury hopes to offer guidance on regulations that foster healthy innovation. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen acknowledged crypto's growing role in American finance during an interview on Friday and said she will work towards creating a regulatory environment conducive towards continued innovation. There have been benefits from crypto, and we recognize that innovation in the payment system can be a healthy thing, she told CNBC. We would like to come out eventually with recommendations that will create a regulatory environment for innovation. Yellen was known for being an outspoken critic of Bitcoin and the broader cryptocurrency space during her time as Federal Reserve Chair and then as a private citizen when she stated in 2018 she was not a fan of Bitcoin. Now that she is Treasury Secretary, Yellen said she now has only a little bit of skepticism, noting concerns about financial stability, consumer investor protection, and crypto's use for illicit transactions. Yellen's more constructive comments follow the Biden administration's executive order earlier this month calling for a whole-of-government approach to regulating crypto, which acknowledged the need to promote the important innovation that might come from the sector. Crypto has obviously grown by leaps and bounds, she told CNBC, and it's now playing a significant role in the investment decisions of lots of Americans. Welcome back to Savvy Finance. A big thanks to all our subscribers and viewers. Don't forget to smash the like button and consider subscribing if you are yet to do so. Let's listen to Michael Saylor's reaction to Janet Yellen's statement.
All right, so is this a change in tune by the US and Janet Yellen, and particularly after the executive order? Because I recall that before the executive order, we would never get this kind of talk.
I think it's an iconic 97 seconds, actually. I mean, it's very emblematic of what's been going on over the past few years. I mean, if I were to parse the real significant high points of that, you have Andrew, who represents mainstream media, stating, I can't get through an interview without talking about this. Roll the clock back 2 or 3 years ago. I don't think that was true. So that's the mainstream media embracing the Reformation. Then you have Janet saying, then you have Andrew saying, a nation state has considered adopting Bitcoin as a technology for payments. I think that's a second iconic thing. I think when she says lots of Americans have this as part of their investment strategy, that's a third iconic event. When she says we got to regulate it responsibly, that's nothing more than what you would expect any adult working in an administration to say. You would say the same thing if I put you in charge of something. I got to handle it responsibly. And then the final statement, and Andrew kind of cuts her off slightly, where she says, we're going to create an environment where innovation can continue, right? Was a pretty big deal. In essence, it's the White House, the most powerful government in the world, embracing Bitcoin and also endorsing the crypto reformation. We're really living through a reformation right now, and you're watching history being made right in front of your eyes. One day people will look back at this 30 years from now and say, this is when the entire inversion of the monetary order took place, and more than the monetary order, right? It transcends even any one industry. I think if you roll the clock back to the entry of the Biden administration, the seminal events in the industry were Biden being elected. Biden has been very constructive with regard to innovation. If you look at the financial regulators that came in with the Biden administration, including Janet Yellen and Gary Gensler and the like, they're very informed, very constructive. If you actually, you could say this was a surprise, but if you looked at the written testimony that Janet Yellen gave while she was being vetted by Congress, while they were deciding on her appointment, she said pretty much the same words that she just said to Andrew in that 1 minute clip. She said, we need to responsibly regulate it, and this is a force for innovation and good and progress. And I think Gensler has said the same thing. And I think the other administrators, the other regulators have said the same thing. So I agree. I agree with the observation. Last week was a massive milestone. But if you were surprised by last week, you weren't paying attention for the past year and a half, because all of the indicators that the political system, the White House, Congress, and the Senate are pro-crypto and pro-Bitcoin in specific. All of those things have been there since the election. And I'd say what we saw last week was the President of the United States directing 18 government agencies to figure out how to embrace this new revolution, and reminding everybody that there are 40 million Americans that are pro-crypto and pro-Bitcoin, and there's nobody anti, right? So the only, even in the Senate, Elizabeth Warren doesn't represent her own party or the opposition party view, right? Mm-hmm. She is sort of a party of one.
When Rand, the host of the show, asked about the controversy to Bitcoin from other people in government like Brad Sherman and some members of the Senate who were opposed to Bitcoin, Saylor responded that there was no controversy because of the fact that the majority of Congress likes what's happening. The majority of the Senate is supportive of Bitcoin. The majority of regulators in the White House are in supportive of Bitcoin. The majority of regulators everywhere in the world are supportive of Bitcoin. And if what you want to do is use it as digital property, there's not even controversy.
This is such an obvious innovation in the economy that if people got away from the trollish fixation on finding someone to disagree with a hyperbolic statement I will make, they would realize that there's $100 trillion of money that needs to flow into this economy, and it's not there yet. And everybody is loudly endorsing it. If you're listening, I think we could all agree that there's natural resistance to extraordinary disruptive change in the human civilization, and there always has been, right? Whether it's electricity or fire or explosives or internet technology or television or music. These kids are listening to crazy stuff on records. There's always that. But if we take a snapshot 3 years ago versus today you have the CEO of Goldman Sachs, the CEO of JP Morgan. You just had Larry Fink yesterday saying this is an idea whose time has come. You've got this rippling effect through all the big money managers, all the hedge funds, all the bulge bracket. 2 years ago, Merrill Lynch didn't, when I started buying Bitcoin, I called Merrill Lynch. They're like, well, we can buy you some gold. We can't buy Bitcoin. We can't even talk about Bitcoin. We'll get fired. All 25,000 of our financial advisors will get fired for even talking about it. Now, those same people, they're sending me every week, crypto research. Wells Fargo, Merrill Lynch, Citigroup,
but
Morgan
it was worse
Stanley,
than that, Michael.
Right?
As stated by Michael Saylor, there are trillions of dollars of money that needs to flow into Bitcoin that is not there yet. It is also true that everybody is starting to loudly endorse it. Bitcoin, and in fact cryptocurrency in general, is going to cause extraordinary disruptive change in the human civilization, even bigger than the disruptive changes brought about by the internet. If you are yet to start investing in Bitcoin, the best time was 13 years ago. The next best time is today, right now. Thanks for watching. Till our next video, stay savvy.